pregnant, I'm extending this beautiful appreciation to you that the journey of taking on someone and bringing someone to this world, it's not easy. So it's a beautiful thing to behold, and congratulations to you in advance. On the political spotlight, we get to look at issues across Nigeria's socio-economic and political landscape, and we try to look at permutations. For example, as you do know, that right now on the lips of all the political bureaucrats and even Nigerians at this moment, as they groan about the inconsistencies in government implementation, the stifling economic situation, and every sector that they consider to be quite moribund, and the inactivity of some sectors or government policies in their lives. So looking ahead of 2027, basically looking to 2027, and they need guidance. Who do we follow? Who would help save us from this vandalization in governance? Who will help us bridge the gap? Who will help resonate our voices in the polity? So Nigerians are seeking or looking for somebody whom they think will be a major opposition, a major voice, that a clarion call that they can rally behind while 2027 approaches. While some Nigerians are of the note that this current administration needs to be given time, they need to be understood. Good things take time to develop. Good things take time to manifest. And so why can't Nigerians be patient? Possibly if you give this administration another 4 years, then some of the things that we are clamoring for and calling for will definitely unfold. It may not turn out fine now, but it will turn out well in the long run. So while politicians are busy thinking of themselves, thinking of their political career, Nigerians are on their own, struggling to survive, staying afloat amidst the insecurity in the country. My name is Esther Wachuku. Welcome once again to the Political Spotlight on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. We do this every Sunday, and obviously it's audio visual, so you can virtually be part of the conversation, or just go into your YouTube, either on your iOS or Android device. Go into your YouTube application, VOP903. That's what you would type on your search bar, and you'll definitely see us streaming live. So I would implore you to join the conversation. I know some of you are watching football. I heard Liverpool is playing today. Well, in as much as you are football lovers, I would implore you to also put your ear and a part of your attention to the conversation we're having today. Politics is actually one of the interesting aspects of our lifestyle, and it is good for us to actually keep ourselves abreast of what is going on in the polity. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure you heard on Saturday that Peter Obi and El-Rufai met in the United States of America. Now, when actually Nigerians heard of the fact that he is actually in the US with El-Rufai, then permutations started off by saying it's possible that coalition talks are on, and maybe Peter Obi may join the Social Democratic Party. Remember that they met at an event. They were both going to present, or like to give a talk at that event, and pictures were taken of both of them together. And obviously Nigerians that are reacting, and the reaction is this: Peter Obi as president, El-Rufai as vice president. So there are those who are for it, and there are those who are not for it. There are those who are saying no, Peter Obi and Atiku, or Atiku and Peter Obi. However, as it may, they are not political enemies. They are, let's say, political colleagues. We've never seen Peter Obi with El-Rufai in the past, but you can never tell. They seem to have a common interest. The common interest this time around is to no longer allow this administration continue in the next 4 years. So we don't know what their interest is going to be all about. However, let us look at how Nigerians are looking into this. For example, the consideration that emerged is the fact that how will Nigerians trust that process with Peter Obi and El-Rufai, considering what they felt was his administration like when he was the governor of Kaduna State and when he was also the FCT minister. So how can Nigerians trust that combination? Obedience said, you know what, Mr. Peter Obi, I may not be comfortable with you having to have any form of partnership with El-Rufai, but if it means in any way possible to upstage this administration, then let's go for it. Others say that regardless of the politicians' interest to upstage this administration, the important thing is a personality that embodies the interest of Nigerians in the long run. And so these permutations have gone on, conversations have continued, and Nigerians are looking into it. In fact, for example, opinions were drawn out there. What would you think if you see a Peter Obi as your president and El-Rufai as your vice. Well, Ife Salako, the Lagos state spokesperson for the Labour Party, ignited the widespread reactions on social media following the speculative or suggestive post whereby a potential alliance between Peter Obi and former Kaduna State Governor Nasir El-Rufai. Now, in the tweets on his Verify X handle, Salako passed a brief yet loaded question to his followers. Peter Obi as president, Nasir El-Rufai as vice president. What's your sincere opinion? And so all of a sudden, because of that picture that we saw in the United States, everyone now started responding. For example, the post is a hypothetical. It's actually hypothetical in tone, but it triggered conversations, across social media, especially amongst political observers, party loyalists, and everyday Nigerians just like I and you, many of whom expressed their surprise at the idea of pairing two figures from marked different political backgrounds. Peter Obi, who flew the Labour Party's presidential flag in 2023, is widely known for advocating accountability, economic reform, and youth inclusion. El-Rufai, who is a former minister of the FCT and two-term governor under the ruling All Progressives Congress, has a reputation for bold, sometimes divisive policy decisions and strong opinions on national development. He added a disclaimer and said, "I have no insider knowledge or involvement in any discussions about the proposed measure mentioned above. I am simply sharing public opinions. For the record, I am not an admirer of El-Rufai in any way." And so people now went ahead to say, what? Are you saying that Peter Obi would stoop so low to be partnership with El-Rufai? Some people say no, El-Rufai should not partner with Peter Obi because he's just coming from the All Progressives Congress. Different permutations went out there. The big question though is, in the midst of this measure talks and coalition talks, where do I and you, the average Nigerian, factor in? I think that's what's mostly very important, okay? Now, due to the insecurity across the nation, you remember what happened in Imo State where Peter Obi had to react. Well, it's not just in Imo State, for example. Another unfortunate attack has taken place as well. Some terrorists have invaded a government secondary school, Safes and Fara State. They killed a teacher and abducted several children. Also, VOP actually gathered that the terrorists, who were heavily armed, invaded the school premises on Saturday, abducted the children, while it's actually worrisome because they killed the teacher, they abducted these students. We don't know what they want to do with the students. I want us to take a listen to this particular lawmaker because, like I said earlier, it's imperative that we have proper context on the conversations we're going to be having this evening on the political spotlight. Now, this lawmaker expressed, I could feel the anger in his voice. I could feel how empathetic he was towards his people who have been taken advantage of, killed off by Boko Haram insurgents and ISWAP. And he talked about the fact that these individuals, these terrorists, this Islamic terrorists, take over the military barracks, take their weaponry and add it to their own, despite the huge sums of money that is being paid or budgeted into the defense system in the country. Like I told you, it's quite a lot we'll be looking into this evening. However, let's take a listen to this lawmaker representing Plateau State speaking on the development right there in the House of Representatives.
What Boko Haram did to Iwa Barak and other attacks within military formations in Borno State. Mr. Speaker, the pictures I saw, I am scared. I am scared. Safety of the Nigerian civilians within the Nigerian territorial land can be guaranteed. That you and I, time will come, if action is not taken, that Nigerians will take their destinies in their own hands. Thank you.
Oh, okay. We sincerely do apologize. You've not been listening. You've not been hearing what I've been saying. They've been complaining that there is no sound. I'm so sorry. Can you hear me now? I hope you guys can hear me very well now. So I'm so sorry you couldn't hear me. Okay. I was saying that based on the recent insecurity in the country, right? And the fact that what transpired in Imo State very recently, where Peter Obi called that it's a barbaric, is a state of barbarism, and the way killings have continued unhindered. So Nigerians are now wondering how come it has gotten this bad. And I said that in the shocking escalation of violence, approximately 30 people were brutally murdered by gunmen in Imo State, and it's another tragic event that took place. That's what I was saying. If you could not hear me, and reacting to the barbaric killing of these individuals, reacting to the barbaric murder of these individuals by supposed unknown gunmen in Imo State, the question that came to mind was, what is the governor of the state doing, and who are these unknown gunmen? 2 days ago, or that was on Friday, on Thursday, we heard that an IPOP leader was killed in one of the enclaves where they found him, and other syndicates attached to whatever ring that the IPOP leader belongs to. So who are these unknown gunmen, and where are they from, that it took their time in massacring 30 people brutally? It took Peter Obi to come out to voice out. We've not heard anything being said by Governor Hope Uzodinma of Imo State. And I said that if you go to the southeast, most of the Hinter communities, specifically in Imo State, have been deserted. A lot of young persons have had to leave. They've had to migrate to other urban cities, either down here in the southwest or other cities in the southeast, because they no longer feel safe. And if you have your young population deserting your state, who is going to work for you? And how will that attract investment opportunities? You're going to have a hollow economic sector. And it's a major clarion call. Peter Obi then said that we have gotten to a state where human beings are no longer considered as vital. For example, do you know that some parts of the north, cows are sacred? They are worshipped. They're literally taken as a god. You cannot even harm or hurt a cow. In some other parts of the world, for example, in India, they don't eat cows, they worship it. So if you see the kind of reverence and worship given to a cow, how come human beings are treated in such a manner whereby at this point in time, killing is now an order of the day? Something that used to be so sacred has become a normal activity on a daily basis. In Imo State, 30 persons massacred. What is the modus operandi? What is the motive behind it? What kind of political insight is behind this? These are vital questions we need to ask ourselves. It's no longer funny. If this is a political stunt, you use the lives of people towards politics to achieve whatever aim we do not know. To what purpose? At what point? To what end? So you go to your chessboard, you're strategizing politically, and you're saying that in order for us to cause chaos in the polity, let's destabilize some of the region. Yes, some lives will be lost, but that's the price to be paid. So you don't care if human lives are lost, because I don't understand how we still have unknown gunmen with a heavy military presence in that region. You're still having unknown gunmen. Where are these unknown gunmen that you didn't catch them last week Friday when you supposedly caught an IPOP leader, shot him, as well as other syndicates? How come you didn't see these unknown gunmen who massacred 30 people? 30 people. Another one again just happened in one of the states where they abducted students and they killed the teacher. So it's happening brazenly in broad daylight. The same thing is going on in Benue State, and nobody is considering it as important to address. Nobody thinks that it has called for a national state of emergency. At the National Assembly, they haven't thought about it. Call all the ministers of defense to order and ask them, what are you people doing that we are having a resurgence of insecurity across all the states in the Nigerian Federation? It's not funny. It needs to be addressed as soon as possible. And so the defense minister is being called out. Nigerians are saying, you know what, Mr. Defense Minister, you need to leave that office. They're calling for his immediate sack. It seems he doesn't have the strategic know-how to route out these individuals whereby they're coming in and taking over people's farmlands. Now, the Nigerian military had told us that those who are constituting this mayhem are not Nigerians, that if you hear their language is not the kind of Hausa that we know, that is a different kind of language, that they're foreigners. What are you doing when foreigners have complete and total access through our borders? So what is the security effort? What exactly is the security effort? If these foreigners, in fact, we even heard when they said cows are coming in from other countries, possibly through the Sahel, that they're seeing a large influx of cows in that part of the country, in the north, large influx of cows. So what they have done is to displace community members and then allow these cows to come in. It's no longer funny. The politicization using human lives is no longer funny. Meanwhile, while the pressure is being mounted on the president to sack the defense minister, Nigerians are still calling on President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to ask him what is his priority. May 29, the president will be 2 years. This is the first half of his administration. And they're asking, Mr. President, would you consider security as one of your achievements, considering what Nigerians went through in the previous administration? Calls are also on the governors of these states where this insecurity has continued to hold sway. These are the conversations we will be having on the political spotlight. What's the end game of utilizing the killings of innocent Nigerians for your own political strategy? That's what we'll look into as well. Meanwhile, I'm sure you heard us on Friday when we're discussing about the situation in the Labour Party and where Peter Obi comes in. Calls are on that there is a very strong tendency that Peter Obi will definitely be leaving the Labour Party, that there are some elements who intend to ensure that the Labour Party does not resuscitate. And right now, there are some factions of the Julius Abure that are calling for the expulsion of Alex Otti, the governor of Abia State, and Peter Obi, the 2023 presidential candidate. They feel that they are the reason why they're having issues within the Labour Party. I want us to briefly listen to Arabambi, the factional secretary of the Labour Party. He had quite a lot to say, and I don't know if he was going to be sued for some of the statements he made, because Arabambi used the opportunity to apologize to Nigerians that it was not the judiciary that took their votes from them. According to Arabambi, he actually had a different connotation to what transpired during the 2023 general elections. Let's take a brief listen to him, and then I'm going to introduce my analyst, and then we'll head on to the conversation this evening.
After the purported caretaker chairperson made the allegation against Barrister Julius Abure, we are now confronted, with issues in Nigeria, which I'm going to quote from Martin Luther King Jr. in 1965, I think September 8th, after the Bloody Sunday, when he said, "Our lives begin to end the day we choose to be silent until that matters." It's quite unfortunate that we are having this crisis in Labour Party now. And before Nigerians, everything I'm going to say here, I think we need to purge ourselves before Nigerians what actually led, to this crisis. It's more than what Nigerians have seen, and that is why I am happy I came with documents that people knows me very well. This is the notice of appeal of Nenedius man, and this is the judgment of the court, the one Governor Otti was also talking about. This is the certified true copy. We did just pick it from the dustbin. But you see, Nigerians, our crisis actually emanated from our issue in 2023 general election. But there's something that we did. I am coming out now, in as much as Nenedius man will have the audacity to accuse the chairman of embezzlement. I am going to state the fact here, even by Oshutokun. He was on this channel regarding why we failed president election. On Arise TV, he said Peter Obi was not in a position to pay all the LP obedient agents during 2023 election. Peter Obi never had the money to do so, and thus they have to narrow it down to where they can pay and drop agents in several thousand polling units where they cannot pay. He concluded, we have a situation where many obedient and people that perform the role of agent, polling agent, were not eliminated. It was just their initiative to do so in most parts of the country, a fact that we couldn't pay many agents. Now, why did he say they were not enumerated? You see, I am going to lay it bare and to ask for forgiveness of Nigerians because we actually misled Nigerians over why we failed the election. But why we failed is what I came out here. In my car, I have the CTC of all the judgment of the Court of Appeal, that is the Court of First Instance regarding our election petition, and also the Supreme Court. I made able to say that 3 people were responsible for why we lost the election, and therefore, after this, I will be making an open apology to the Chief Justice of Nigeria.
Which election are you discussing?
You said?
Which election? The 3 people?
Yeah, the 2023. That was where, they model something to deceive Nigerians. I am also part and parcel, but we have to purge ourselves of this fact. And I'm happy it's going to be on a rise. That's why I say I came with that fact of what transpired. It is not another issue. It was what I want to say here that actually causes that problem. Now, in the 2023 election, you see, we were unable to field agent in 54,000 polling units out of 189. We were unable to field agent. When Mr. Peter Obi came, he took over the party machinery and handed over to Aisha Yusufu and Pastor Ituai Gadalo, and the man that absconded now, Valentine Osigbo and Oseloka, is SAG. Those were the people that managed the upload. Now, in 189 polling units, 89,000, Labour Party failed to account for 54,000. That was why he said we were unable to enumerate, some agents. That is actually talking here on this channel. I knew it was Dr. Bati and my friend, Read Fire, that did that interview. What now transpired is that we failed woefully in 54,000 polling units. We do not have a result to go to the Election Petition Tribunal. In that vein, those ones that are there, he said they were unable to pay them. They used a lot of the obedience to be the party agent. Because they were unable to pay them 10,000, they absconded with that result. And in line with paragraph 4, 5, and 6 of the first schedule of the Electoral Act, petitions must be filed within 21 days, and your written statement of your witness on oath, your formisio 8, everything you have to attach it to your petition within 21 days. Labour Party failed to do that. What they now did was that there was a meeting. How do we cover ourselves up? We went to that court to lie against the judiciary because we were the one that failed. Like I said, the 4 people responsible, one just resigned 4 days ago, that was Oseloka. The other one and absconded to APC. While we have Aisha Yusufu and Pastor Ituai Gadalo, they were the one that handle all the party finances. I am going to challenge Nenadus or anybody that we should join here. We will bring the account that Labour Party did not touch the party campaign, the party campaign fund. It was handled. The 2 signatories are Pastor Ituai Gadalo and Aisha Yusufu. Those were the 2 people. But why they are unable to pay agent remain the internal problem. But we went to the court. You see a lot of Labour Party faithful publishing the names of those judges. You see them accusing the INEC, accusing the APC. Now, if you have 189,000 polling units, you fail to feed agent in 54,000. Which election are we now saying we won? That is where that problem comes from. But our president candidate wanted this issue to be covered up. And that was the division between them and the Abure-led NWC. That was where the issue started. They deceived Nigeria up to today. People are still saying that election was rigged, but that election was not rigged.
Why are you just telling this to us now?
That is why I said
you've been on the program multiple times. And this is the first time we've ever heard any such bombshell.
We are tendering apology to the Chief Justice of Nigeria. We are tendering apology to INEC
for
because
lying?
we are
lying?
No,
an apology for lying.
I am tendering the apology.
Saying it on TV?
No, I am not. I am not in that. At least I am not part of the people, but I am privy to that. Until when we got, I said I got all the the certified true copy from the Supreme Court and the Court of Appeal, where most of these things are not related. But the point is this: why must our leaders continue, to manifest lies on here? I am on TV. I challenge any member of Labour Party to go and bring the certified true copy of all the things we filed in the court. If it's different from the one I have, the Special General of Police should arrest me and charge me to court. I challenge any one of them to come and tell me that what I'm saying now is like that. It was Labour Party. They made that mistake rather than for us to accept. They now put up to today. You will see a lot of my members accusing the judiciary they rigged 2023 election. I am here to say nobody who rigged Labour Party out. It was just a mistake, a calculated mistake by 4 people. Osaloka, who has absconded from Labour Party now because they caused the crisis. Valentine Osigbo, who went to run for governorship in APC. Aisha Yusufu and Pastor Itua Igadado. Those 4 people messes our election up. But I think.
Okay, that was Arabambi speaking there, and we don't know what the statement he has made would mean. Some persons would say that the opposition could take advantage of this expression he has made, what he has divulged, for something else, maybe from sinister motives. We don't know, but he says he's apologizing to the Chief Justice of Nigeria, saying that the Labour Party had lied, that they couldn't account for the polling units, about 54,000 polling units, and that they knew what happened, but they went ahead and spreading false information. Well, that's Arabambi saying that. According to him, he said that he has evidence to prove. So I hope he's able to prove it in court if indeed he is sued, because he just confessed to. Okay, let's not dwell into that. Meanwhile, the PDP have actually done what you call convened an emergency meeting because of the gale and escalating defections and deepening discord within the People's Democratic Party. Governors on the party have called an expanded emergency meeting in Abuja, bringing together former governors and prominent party stakeholders for crucial talks today. So the talk is still ongoing at this point in time. So it's not just the governors, but also members of the Board of Trustees and former leaders of the National Assembly. The broader consultation is aimed at addressing urgent matters threatening the party's cohesion and prospects ahead of its upcoming National Executive meeting and the National Executive Convention, which is to come up very soon. So basically, the situation in the PDP is actually what is causing the gale of defections. But they have decided to call together their members so they address it so more persons don't leave. And then Nigerians are now asking, why don't the Labour Party do the same thing? But it feels like anytime they try to do it, something comes up. That's another thing. Meanwhile, former president's wife, Patience Jonathan, has actually decided that she will support President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, that they are friends, and Tinubu actually helped her husband become the president at the time when former president or late president Yar'Adua passed on. He was one of the voices that called and said, if the president is no longer alive, let the vice become the president, so that her husband doesn't have any intention to come back and campaign, that there are calls for her husband to re-campaign, that she's assuring that her husband is not going to re-campaign against the president, that they're friends, and she's touting her support for the president and that she and the wife are actually friends. Ladies and gentlemen, I actually have Mr. Lawal Ekundayo right here in the studio. Mr. Lawal Ekundayo, good evening. Come closer. Happy evening. Mother's Day to your wife.
Okay.
Today's Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to her.
Okay.
Good evening.
No, well, don't put happy. Just say
Happy Mother's Day.
We are remembering
sir,
our
happy
mothers.
Mother's Day to your wife. I'm wishing your wife.
What about those mothers that have lost their children and their husbands?
Lawal, I already did Happy Mother's Day earlier. I'm personally extending Happy Mother's Day to your wife, so you say thank you. Thank you.
Okay, I should say thank you.
Say thank
I'm
you.
under duress. I'm saying thank you.
It's not under duress. Happy Mother's Day to Mr. Lawal Ekundayo's wife. Mr. Lawal, if you're Mr. Lawal Ekundayo's wife, you're listening to me. Happy Mother's Day to you. Your husband wants to start arguing the Happy Mother's Day. Mr. Lawal, happy Sunday.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us. Mr. Lawal, they're touting Obi and El-Rufai. They were currently pictured in the United States. They both were both going to speak at an event, and they were both invited there. So we saw pictures of them obviously having a conversation. Now there have been coalition talks and measure talks whereby some heavyweights will join the Social Democratic Party. But the Labour Party spokesperson for Lagos State, what's his name? Honorable Ife, actually put it out there and said, okay, it's not like he has any knowledge within the echelon of power amongst the obedience or amongst some persons who are interested in this coalition, but that how do they think? It's an opinion. What would they think if Peter Obi is considered as a president and El-Rufai as a vice? Others are of it, others are saying no. But then if it is about taking over power in 2027 or looking for a big means to upstage this administration, how do you see that permutation there?
The question, sorry.
It's no problem.
The question I want to ask Nigerians, some who are saying this and that, is that what exactly do you want? You get? What exactly? Everybody must have what he or she wants. You get it? Politically in Nigeria. So what do you want? Do you want the status quo, or you want a better Nigeria? Then that is what should be the paramount yardstick for your decision.
Okay.
Not whether you say I don't care. I'm after what will make Nigeria a better place, or what will make Nigerians feel happy, secured, happy. Wherever they are within this geographical location. That's what I am after. You see, that merger, you get it, whether El-Rufai, what the point is this, let us have a coalition that can actually put us on another vehicle, and see whether the vehicle will take us, we'll go forward to where we are going, our destination. Because I say that the vehicle we are in now, it seems, I don't know, it seems to be giving us reverse. Oh, you get what I'm saying? So let us see how we can leave this, get to a vehicle that will move us forward.
Okay. All right.
Like I keep saying, people, if I mention other countries, people say, why are you talking about that? But they went through the same thing. They gone beyond that.
Is Nigeria ready to go beyond what it's currently going?
That is why this is education. This is education. We are educating ourselves. We are not here, to practice politics or politicking. We are not here to be sentimental or biased. We are here to educate ourselves.
Politically. This is a political
that's what I'm saying.
That's why we're shedding light on
to educate ourselves. So how do you educate yourself? That what the education, the knowledge you have is not enough. You need more. So that's why we are here. That is education. And when it comes to education, you need to look at how others are doing it, so that you too can, if they are doing it well, better than you need to see how they are doing it better than you, and then you need to imbibe what they are using, this style, and then
these governors and these ministers, including the president, travel to these countries you're mentioning, these countries that we supposedly are emulating their supposed system of government. We are supposedly emulating their system of government. They see how things are done. They themselves, even when they go there, they dress down. They know that the lifestyle, the ostentatious lifestyle, the frivolous lifestyle that they apply here cannot be applied there. So if you are telling us to emulate it, they go there on a daily basis and they're not replicating it. So what does that tell you? Is it an individual thing? If it is for national interest, obviously they would have replicated it, but it's obviously not for national interest. Because how can you be in a country where politically it's hostile and possibly toxic? You cannot enjoy Nigeria's political space because as it stands, there's a grip on the opposition. There's a strangulation on the opposing voice or any voice of dissent, whereby they financially cripple you, or they look for any means through which you are either locked up or you're literally left moribund and redundant, that you have no choice but to leave the country. If that is not the only case, you now have a situation where insecurity is now prevalent, is not considered as a priority, and it's all about political permutations and their own personal interest that takes upstage. They travel out there. Why don't they come in and replicate it?
Because they know that if they replicate it, you get it, those things, these frivolous things they enjoy will not be there again. Nigerians will wake up, Nigeria will stand up. How do you enslave somebody who where you bring him to your level? You can't enslave that person again.
It is because of this that Nigerians are touting individuals they consider would be better, would be clean, would be sane. They feel the president's record is too dirty and it doesn't represent Nigeria well with his past record. A couple of persons, like some analysts that come here or even other media houses, refer to Nigeria as a country being captured, or a country whereby certain individuals want to, what you call, make it a mafia, or certain oligarchs want to be the only ones in charge, where without them you may not have the presidency, without them you may not have certain sectors thrive. You need to consult with them before certain things will be done. They feel that it happened in Lagos, and that's what is going to replicate itself at the federal level, and that tribalism is now another tool to divide the polity further, so there is no common voice, and when the people are divided, they are distracted. If these tools are utilized to divide the polity, then what is the sense of looking for someone different when that sense of direction seems to be diverted?
That is why we say this is political education. You get it?
Okay.
That's why we call it education. You have to be better. That's why that's why we call it education. It has to make your life. You have to be useful to your society. That is why you are educated. If whatever you do is not useful to your society, you are not educated.
That's why I asked you. They're touting Peter Obi and El-Rufai. Some people are saying no, not El-Rufai. They consider.
Then what do they want?
Some are saying, well, how about?
Do you want us to continue the old rhetoric?
No, some of them are saying Peter Obi and Kwankwaso. But Kwankwaso had said that if there is going to be any measure or coalition, he wants to be the presidential candidate.
See,
he has said so, and that's why even I don't know if coalition members are meeting him, because what we heard was that he was defecting to the APC, but he has come out to say he's not defecting to the APC at all. So if there are measures of Kwankwaso and Peter Obi, will the obedience or Peter Obi want to be advised to Kwankwaso? Because that may be another thing to consider if they intend to have more of that participation from that region to supposedly upstage President Bola Ahmed Tinubu ahead of 2027.
That is why, earlier on, some days ago, I said something that Nigerian politicians don't understand politics. They just believe that it's something like a job. I need a job. I need more. Let me just go into politics. They misinterpret it now, and they are misusing it. Coalition, you get it, is stronger. I keep saying opposition is stronger than the ruling party, the ruling government party. The opposition is stronger than the ruling party because opposition, you have nothing to lose except to criticize the government. If the government is criticizing you, people will be wondering, why are you criticizing them? You get it? Are they holding any political powers? There's nothing to talk. That's why you see, anytime they talk about somebody like Peter Obi, people begin to talk. Okay, what are you talking about? Is a man in government? You get it? Does he have a bad record? So what do you want to criticize about him? Nothing. But it's easier for Peter Obi to criticize the government. You understand? Because the ruling party is governing, and it's easy to see all the errors of the ruling party and they speak about it. That's why opposition is stronger, you get it, than the ruling party. Second is that the opposition, you get, when you are strong, you mass together. You get it? That opposition, you mass together, you become formidable, you become stronger. Okay. Because people begin to look at you as alternative. You get it? To the flaws of the ruling party. Okay. So you can see how oppositions are stronger in a government. No, even if it is the military, even the opposition is stronger when it is in the military government. You get now, but here in Nigeria, everybody consider his own selfish interest. Most consider they are selfish. I want to be president. I want to be president. I want to be president. The question is, why do you want to be president? If Kwankwaso says he wants to be president, you should ask him, why do you want to be president? Okay, all of you form coalition. You get it? Then become the aspirant and come and defend yourselves. Okay. Defend yourself and let people vote for you and vote for the right person. You get it? But each one believe, all these ones that are talking, what they believe in is the power of manipulation, not the power of the voters. It's the power of money. That's why somebody will say, I want to be president. What criteria? Are you the person to vote for yourself? You understand? You have not even formed the coalition. You are not even strong enough. You are talking about you want to be the president. Are you going to write it yourself? Are you going to go there and write the number? Is it not people that vote for you? And you have not even known the people who vote for you. You're already claiming you want to be president. You have not even been the aspirant. You have not even formed the coalition. And you are claiming you want to be president. Now, if you don't form the coalition, you will be nothing. If you form the coalition, you still have a better chance. And then you're already talking where you have a low opportunity that you want to be president. It doesn't make sense. It's because they always have this selfish interest. You get it? Many of them carry this selfish interest in their mind.
All right.
And that is why it is like this. If Obi meets with El-Rufai, there's no problem. If anybody who wants to be president, come and test your popularity. You get it? No automatic ticket for anybody. Atiku wants to be president. This person wants to be president. Form a coalition. Test your popularity. Let the people vote for the right person, and let us move forward.
Interesting. Let's take a brief listen to this. Very brief listen to this.
Pulling the people out of, we have massive out of school children, massive uneducated class across. Look at your literacy level. You need to update it, and that is areas you need to deal with issue of health and everything. We have today a situation where we've overtaken India, that is 7 times our population in infant mortality. And when you have the problem of infant mortality, for those of you where, is because the primary health care have collapsed. So there's no health care in villages and everything. These are things that are not, you need to focus on. And the more you do that, the country will be safer. Thank you.
All right, so that was Peter Obi at a recent lecture at the University of Cambridge in the United Kingdom, talking about human and national development, education, healthcare, and pulling people out of poverty, which he says can drive immeasurable growth and development in any nation and continent. It was quite a long talk, but I just wanted us to hear, the basic angle to what he said. Now, I don't know if you remember Professor Pat Utomi reacting to what Felix Smoker said. You know Felix Smoker, right? He's the APC spokesperson. He's almost like their peer. And Felix Smoker said a couple of things in reaction to the shadow government, the big tent that was supposed to be a major opposition or a major voice against the policy of this administration, which they consider which he says is anti-people. And so, I think on a Monitor television program, for example, what's his name? Okay, let me remove this. So I think in that particular interview, he had to respond to the call from Felix Smoker, where Felix Smoker actually said some things. And he actually said that he had never for the life of him experienced such a thing in our democratic dispensation, the level of hatred and division that has culminated ever since this administration came on board. I just want us to take a very brief listen to Pat Utomi in that particular interview, because he said he had to express himself the best way he knew he could, because he considered Felix Smoker as a friend and that they're political allies, that there are ways to respond to issues rather than going personal. So let's take a brief listen to him there.
Okay, it will be disturbing of my sense of properness. Felix Smoker is somebody I consider a friend. He used to spend a lot of time in my house. One of the sad things that politics has done in Nigeria is that it has allowed us to see the sides of people that we did not think was possible. If we could only focus on issues, it will save us where we've come to in Nigerian politics. But there is a tendency to go ad hominem in the culture of the APC. If you get on the internet, one of the things you read there that I was saying about being born in the north, school in the west, and all of that, and knowing Nigeria. If you got on social media, you would think Nigerians are haters of each other, because the venom with which they're insulting people. This is Nigeria I grew up in. at Nsukka as an undergraduate, they called me Yoruba boy. People didn't realize that I was actually Igbo, because 80% of my friends in Nsukka were Yoruba boys. And my politics have always been around Southwest type things. So to come to where we are in Nigeria today, for me, mentally, it's just not possible to reconcile it. Is this Nigeria that I know? Is this how people think of each other? It's not. So, it's clear that politicians have accentuated identity politics to be able to achieve personal goals. They don't seem to realize how much it has destroyed the country, torn its fabric, such that it makes achieving goals very, very difficult. It's like shooting yourself in the foot. But I don't know what their goals are. So I don't want to speak to Felix Morka's comments in any personal way. Let's take on the issues that he's brought up. First of all, about the
shadow government.
Shadow government being, what did he say it was?
In a presidential democracy.
Yeah. Nothing can be more democratic than a group of citizens getting together to say, let's find a structured way of asking governments to be more accountable. What could possibly be more democratic than that? I like to usually preface this conversation with what we've done to the African. There is the Afro Barometer annual surveys that have gone on since 1999 of how Nigerians, Africans generally, but in every country specific, with all kinds of details. I mean, I want every Nigerian who really wants to understand what has happened to our continent to go and study the Afrobarometer readings. It says that Africans still love democracy, cling on to it, but they have given up more or less. They're tired because their democracies are not working. Now, any really serious Democrat has to be concerned to read this data, longitudinal, showing that people are fed up with what we call democracy. So, trying to make democracy find renewal, find revival, should be something that any true Democrat would embrace.
So that was Pat Utomi, convener of the Big Tent. You know him as part of Patitu's gang. He's always been an advocate. He's really participated in politics for quite a long while. He said something that politics has become something of an identity. It has become the politicians have utilized our different peculiar, beautiful ethnicity. They have used it to polarize us. How do you react to what he said in that?
I think I'll use another word, weaponization.
Okay.
They have weaponized politics in Nigeria. You get it, and use it as something to attack.
Okay.
To attack anything they see that doesn't go along with them, whether it is good or not good. They don't care. As long as it doesn't go along with them, they just attack. So they have weaponized politics in Nigeria. That's why I said that the people say democracy doesn't work in Africa. I told them it's not true, because we are not practicing democracy in Africa. In Nigeria, we are not practicing democracy. Some people say it's never democracy, because listen to the definition of democracy. It is people oriented, and democracy in Nigeria is never people oriented. It's some certain class, minority oriented that decide the direction of anything. It's never people, because if it is people, the administration of APC will not be talking about next time.
Should Atiku surrender his political ambition?
See, if he asks me for advice, I will tell him that he should think about Nigeria, think about your legacy. There is one person.
What is the legacy?
The legacy that I want a better Nigeria. I want this country to work. Okay. So it's not about you.
So in other words, you would say that he
should
it's about drop his political
this country to work. No. Look at Gani. Look at somebody. Look at Gani Fawayimi. He did not hold any single political post in Nigeria, and yet is celebrated, almost equal to a president.
Was a voice of the voiceless.
He
was an advocate.
If he had been selfish, he would never go to that side.
Has been known as a politician from time immemorial. So even after when he was the customs boss. But the thing I'm asking you is this: after that private work, after working for the government, becoming the vice president, since then, he has always wanted to be the president. And on several occasions that he had campaigned, he had failed. So, Nigerians are calling that if it is possible for him to drop his political ambition and supposedly support Peter Obi and another person, or he cannot run as a vice because he was once a vice president. But Segun Sowunmi, PDP chieftain, is saying that it is nobody's right to call for Atiku Abubakar's, dumping his political ambition. He has every right to be politically ambitious if he thinks that he has what it takes to lead this country. If Segun Sowunmi is saying that, are we saying that possibly in the next convention, because the PDP had called for a strategic meeting, they are currently meeting right now together, and the next time they're going to have a convention, is it possible that Atiku may actually declare his intention to run? Remember that Atiku has been in Dubai all this while, and he has not really been fronting with the PDP. He has literally been like on his own. The call for measure and coalition has been an individual effort with maybe some little faction of the PDP. So do you think that the majority of the PDP members will let him, if he says he wants to tout again, as a presidential candidate?
See, that is why I said that the people who are supposed to be at the forefront, moving this country forward to our greatness, are busy thinking about their selfishness, their selfish ends, and what they want to gain. You get it? That is a major problem we have in Nigerian democracy. That's it. Every big politician, most of them are selfish, thinking about themselves, and when they get to power, that's what they think about. Somebody is already 1 year in power, in office. Is already he's not even up to 1 year. He has not even spent 1 year. He's already thinking about next term. I mean the second term. You get what I'm saying? He has not finished his term. He's thinking about who is going to put there that will continue and protect his interests so that he continues to control the resources. That is what will carry all over the place. Now I've said something. I'm not going to advise Atiku not to run. My advice is don't manipulate.
Who should not manipulate?
Atiku.
He should not manipulate.
Yes, don't manipulate
the party.
No, yes. Now let the party go its normal direction.
They normally do that with how they use funds.
I'm coming. Okay, you want to say something?
No, I'm just saying that they normally do that. They use funds to outbid each other.
That is what I'm saying. That is manipulative. Now, what I'm saying is this. You have the right to run. It's fine. You get it? Even if it's not for Obi, I might even say that is at the top of one of the people that I believe can move this country forward.
Okay.
But there's somebody at the front that is doing, has a better, credibility.
Who is the person?
That's Obi now, because I keep saying that I've studied many of them.
So yeah,
unless an
Obi supporter.
I will vote for him. I voted for him last time now
in
because
2023.
I was thinking of somebody else. Who
was the person you were thinking?
I was thinking of between Atiku and Abure. Later, I started studying the others, and I saw the credibility of Obi as his antecedent, and his message, and I said, okay, this guy is better than the other, so I voted for him. You start knowing him without even being in his party. You get it? Because it's not about me; it's about the collective, progress for this country. Now, what I'm looking at is this: form that coalition. Then, if you want to be an aspirant, get a ticket, test your popularity, and let the people choose. Anybody who they choose, that you get it, as the majority decide, then let it go. That's what I'm saying. You understand? That's why I said nobody should manipulate anything. Don't use your money for your personal. Use that money, you get it, to move everybody, collective effort for everybody. Then test your popularity. You understand? And then let the people decide. Let them pick their candidate, choose their candidate, and then let them vote that candidate, and everybody will be happy. That's why I keep saying that Ganifawa did not hold any single post. You get it? And it's celebrated as like a president.
Interesting.
Even Awolowo did not win a prime minister, and it's celebrated. So many like that, where those who got to post have been, ridiculed, have been, by who got to the highest post in this country have been ridiculed. So it's not about your ambition, It's about the posterity. You get it? That will come after you. It's about what people will say when you are there and when you are no more. You understand? That is it. That's what we should be thinking of. So what I'm saying is that form that coalition. Then test your popularity. If anybody wants to collect, 100 people can collect. They can become an aspirant. Then test your popularity. Then let people decide. You get it? And when they decide, then the person they decide should now move us to move forward. That's what I see. Now, that is why. Okay. There's something I wanted to say before. I still want to say it.
Okay.
In 2015, in 2015, that was the second time of Buhari. That was the time that Nigeria began to have the serious issue in this country. The reason is because at that time, we expected a change of government because we have already seen the direction that Buhari was going with his 4 years. There's supposed to have been a new leader coming in on board, but the new leader didn't come on board. So Buhari continued the 8 years and messed up a lot of things. And then that is why we are where we are today. So it's not necessarily everybody should be 4 years. If you spend 8 years, if you spend 4 years, you get it. And we see that this person, we don't like the style of leadership. We should be able to change him or change her.
Okay. You
get it. Look at Trump. He came in 4 years. Biden came in. He spent another 4 years. Another person who came in, come in, spend 4 years before you get to let you know that it shows that you have to give respect to the electorate. That's what he's saying. It shows that the power belongs to the people. If you don't do well, they can remove you. They can even make law to prosecute you after your tenure. There's nothing wrong about that. It's possible. So, but the moment you say, I'm 4 years, I want to spend another 4 years, 8 years, it must be complete. It shows that power does not belong to the people. And that cannot be called democracy.
All right.
That's our headache.
Governor Alex Otti has called on the Inspector General of Police to arrest Julius Abure. He has called him an impersonator. And so basically, for example, he's saying that Abure's faction indefinitely suspended Alex Otti, Iretaking Ibe. In fact, right now they're looking for an expulsion of Peter Obi and Alex Otti. In fact, that's what the faction of Julius Abure is trying to do. Literally, they've called for this expulsion of Alex Otti and Peter Obi. Remember that in all of this, Peter Obi has been quiet. Alex Otti has then reacted. He issued a statement by Ferdinand Ikeoma, who is his special advisor on media and publicity. Otti described news of his suspension as a joke taken too far and an affront on democracy. He also accused Abure of impersonation, adding that he and a group of inconsequential irritants are desperate to use his name to advance their self-serving economic agenda. So Otti said the Apex Court judgment removed Abure as the national chairman and stripped him of authority over the party's affairs, adding that Labour Party is now under a new national caretaker committee. If that is the case, why do we still have Julius Abure as the national acting as the chairman of the party despite the Supreme Court ruling? And secondly, calling for the Inspector General to arrest Julius Abure, is a petition not needed for that? And is it possible that indeed he could be arrested, being the fact that, according to what Alex Otti said, contrary to what the Supreme Court ruling is, that Julius Abure is still sitting as the chairman instead of him to drop down from that particular position?
No. Of course, it can be. They can write a petition to against
4 years.
him.
Okay.
Yes.
So at this point in time, based on the Supreme Court ruling, he is impersonating.
Yes. Okay. Because I even heard that his tenure has expired.
Yes.
There's a constitution in the party. You get it. There's a party constitution. And what's the party constitution saying? You get these are things. But you see, there's when you have, you get it. When you have a source of fuel coming from outside, fueling a fire inside the house, the fire will not quench, even no matter how much water you pour on it, because it's been supported from outside. There's a pipe sending fuel into that fire. So as you are pouring water, that pipe sending fuel in will continue to make the fire to burn. That is what is happening in Labour. That's what is happening in Labour.
So
because
would you
impersonation is a criminal offense in Nigeria.
Would you advise Peter Obi to leave?
See,
would you advise him to leave the Labour Party now, as it seems obvious?
The time is going now. That is the best option for him.
It seems obvious that there is a plan to completely mutilate his career if he stays there. Because you will still have you heard what Arabambi just said. You heard the accusations that were made. You now heard what Julius Abure, despite the Supreme Court ruling, Julius Abure is still standing there and considering himself as the chairman of the party. The Nenadi Usman committee, who want to work, they're calling on this. They don't want the support base they have to just be distracted, because they feel they're losing their support base. So if they cannot work, if they cannot operate, where does Peter Obi stand in this whole thing? So that's why, when they saw the picture of Obi and El-Rufai, there are permutations that maybe he may join the SDP. But if you look at the power brokers in the SDP, they are all individually interested in running the race. So who will step down for the other person? Who would do the sacrifice and galvanize for the other person? So imagine an El-Rufai having to drop his ambition to become a president, or an Atiku, who has not actually told us if he has joined the SDP anyways, stepping down his ambition, for Peter Obi to be the president, or a Segun Showumi of the PDP wanting to also galvanize, even if he's in the PDP, for Peter Obi to be president. So if you look at Adebayo too, who is in the SDP, all of them say, you know what, Peter Obi, we're giving you a ticket, when they are all interested in it. So if that is the case, then if no one can step down, what's the point? Is it better for him to just moot the idea of campaigning? He has not told us he's campaigning, but is it better for him to just moot the idea if the system seems very corrupt?
You mean Obi?
Yes.
No. One thing is this. Maybe he's trying to, he's still looking at the best place to go. Because if he moves to another place and there's a crisis there again, it will be difficult to move to another place.
True.
To lose his credibility. So he has to wait to the last minute.
The last minute?
Yes.
Don't you think it will be too late?
No.
Because what I'm saying so is that you have the current administration, they're already galvanizing.
See, the problem is because of this outside influence to destabilize the parties.
Okay.
That is what is giving all the. If not, no matter what you say, Nigerians are wiser now. You get? Okay, you were telling us Happy Mothers Day. You heard what my reply. I said those mothers, in which some of them, their children have been killed. You get? Or their husbands have been killed, or their children kidnapped, and they pay so huge money, and you tell me they are happy. They are not happy now. So what are they? We are just remembering, we are just remembering Mothers' Days. We are remembering our mothers. That's it. Because if you are talking about Happy Mother's Day, you'll be talking about America or Europe. You get it? You'll be talking about China, or you'll be talking about Saudi Arabia. Or you'll be talking about South Africa or Ghana. But you won't talk about it in Nigeria here now. Because every now and then we hear that some people's children are being kidnapped or killed. Or you get it, or ransom are being paid. So what are we now saying? Now Nigerians are wiser.
So what
that is why it is easier. See, if you are low, listen, if you are low, if your mark is 40%, and somebody is scoring 90, and you cannot move up to that 90, the best way you can be at the top is to bring that person down to you are scoring 40 to less than 40.
So right now there is now an official obedient membership card. People can actually register to be part of the movement. The portal is online, so people are registering. Right? Is this a means of wanting to register the obedient movement as a political party? That's one. Two is INEC's guideline for 2027 elections should come up this December. I think after the Anambra elections in November, by November, December, the guidelines for 2027 elections will come up. Then we can now know if it's possible to form a new political party. Because if that was the case, I think the Obedience may have gone to register as a political party, and there's no room for individual candidacy in the Constitution or even in the INEC Act. Otherwise, if that was the case, Peter Obi may not need a party platform per se. So if that's the case, could it be what the Obedient movement is waiting for? That guideline for them to actually register as a political party?
Yes, it makes sense. It makes sense. It's a movement. It's a big movement. It's a movement that has it's strong.
You don't think that movement has reduced with all the mudslinging, with all the name calling and everything?
People are looking for solutions.
Do you see that movement as a movement strong enough to unseat this current administration? Because the current administration seems to be getting a lot of aura and likes from those that did not trust it. For example, the supposed clearance of the IMF debt, even though Nigeria is still owing the IMF, seriously. That is the SDR is still being owed and all. And they're talking about some investment opportunities. The president's renewed hope initiatives and policies are coming up. The clearing of staff salaries of ASU and all whatnot, clearing the bills of the GENCO's electricity bill, all these monies, the president are signing off on it. So some people feel that this administration is gaining momentum, and maybe they could give it another more 4 years to see momentum. Yes, and then the policies of the administration may seem stringent now, but if you give it another 4 years, it could thrive.
Esther, how much was a fuel? I mean, a liter of fuel 2 years ago. Let's start with that, because all this while you are talking pay IMF and everything, how does it affect a common man?
No, there's still the SDR charge is still on the IMF, but the presidency was quick to say they've cleared off the debt.
No, listen, Esther. Sometimes you speak big grammar.
Okay, sir.
Sorry. And you speak a long big. People they get lost along that line.
When I speak big grammar.
No, because all this while you are saying they pay IMF money, they pay this and that. It doesn't affect the common man. Remember, common man see it as a big language, because it doesn't affect their life.
Okay.
You come down to what affect their life. That is its language they understand. You get somebody in the village, you get that not even finished secondary school and is doing his farming, and you are told that the federal government has paid this IMF loan. The federal government, you'll be looking at it as, who is this person talking? Okay, maybe she's talking to somebody else. You get, because something just happened to his farm. The farm is farmed, the land is farmed. Some Fulani herdsmen have gone to destroy it. That is what concerned him. You get it? Maybe somebody went to farm, the person got killed, and he's afraid that how can I go to farm and I will not get killed? So that is what touches his life.
So based on the Supreme Court ruling, is it possible for Julius Abure to be arrested by the IGP? Based on that Supreme Court ruling, if he's still carrying on as the Labour Party chair, is it possible for him to be arrested?
That's why I said that the fuel that is feeding him is coming from our side. You get what I'm saying?
So that's why
yes. How can somebody be impersonating? Even if you have spent your 8 years, you don't even have the right to talk again. You get it? You have spent 8 years. That if your constitution says 8 years, you have spent 2 times 8 years complete. Do you have the right to talk after 1 day? 8 years plus 1 day. You don't have plus 1 hour. You cannot talk. Anything you do after that is null and void. So for you now to claim to be chairman after 1 day extra, you get it. This is impersonation now, and you can be arrested for it.
All right.
But who will do that? Because all the machinery of the government that will do that is in the hands of the federal government. So who will now give the go ahead? That's the problem now.
All right, Mr. Lawal Kondire. So El-Rufai, Peter Obi, Atiku, Peter Obi, Kwankwaso. What do you see?
Listen to me.
I'm listening, sir.
Let them put all that one aside. If you have your ambition to be president, good. Leave that one in your mind.
Okay.
Form that coalition first. Know that you have that number, you have that platform. You get it before you now begin to talk about all this. You have not formed that platform now.
You can form a coalition before you start picking on whom will be your flag bearer and your vice.
If you start saying that before you form coalition, you create enmity and destroy the whole thing.
Don't you think the coalition formed will be based on the personalities involved and personalities whom they think will be touted as the leaders of that coalition?
That's what I'm saying. That as a politician, as somebody who controls a certain number of people, you have to think about the interests of those people.
All right.
Not about yourself. So you know that these people that I'm following me, they are suffering. You get it? They are looking for a way out, and they are looking towards me for solution. You get it? For a way. You have to think about them. You know that if I don't take this step, these people will not enjoy this thing. You get it?
All right.
So, and this step may not necessarily favor me. Therefore, I will do it because of them, so that I can have a legacy. You get it? In them, that they can continue to talk about in the next generation and say, no, this man led us to the right path.
Okay.
You get it? So let them stop talking about who wants to be president now, because that will cause a lot of problem. First of all, get that platform, that formidable platform, that platform that is strong enough to do this, and then you not begin to talk about.
If Peter Obi is to remain in the Labour Party, will he be allowed to reorganize and restructure the party?
That is the problem.
Will he be allowed to do what he needs to do?
That is why Labour is having that problem till today. That problem will not go, you get it, till 2027 election and beyond. It will never settle. You know why? Because they want to make sure that you get it, is demoralized. One. Second, he has no platform to come out. You get? So if he wants to come out in Labour, and they're creating a lot of crisis in Labour. That's why they focus on that Labour. You get it? To make sure that there's a crisis in there that will not settle. Now, if they want to do
like a convention.
Yes, convention, in which they will not select those who go and you see that they will not settle. There will be factions here. They will create factions. They will say, no, this is my own. They will say, no, it's my own. Eventually, I will now use that as an opportunity and say, well, you have no candidate. You are not present because you are not settled up.
You guys are not speaking in one voice.
Yes, you are not speaking in one voice. You will just use that as a way of knocking you out. Or if this person say, okay, this one will say, I will go to court. And the court will say, okay, maintain status quo.
Or even before the court will even say maintain status quo, time would have gone.
That's it now. Before they will come out with the election, and everything. That is what they are doing.
So at this point in time, if Peter Obi is to do what he needs to do, Julius Abure needs to be out, Arabambi needs to be out, these elements need to be out for that restructuring of the Labour Party.
I'm even disappointed in this Arabambi. These are.
Why are you disappointed? He has always spoken like this.
How can you talk like this? You are talking about your party in the open.
Didn't you hear him? He said they've been keeping it quiet.
That's what I'm saying. Keeping it quiet, and you are not talking. So what's the benefit of keeping it quiet? You could have talked since now. Why are you talking now? Since you have kept quiet before, they will say during wedding that it's either you say now why these two should not be joined together, or you remain quiet for life. You get it? And you didn't talk at that time they were joining them. You now want to talk thereafter. They have already that is gone already now. You'll be thinking about but all of them now, who knows who is fueling them that they are doing all they are doing. You understand? And another error they keep making. Let me clear this.
We need to take reaction. It's already 8 minutes gone past.
Another error is this, that Labour did not have what do they call this thing? Agents in 50,000 polling units. They didn't pay the agent 50. That is out of point.
Okay.
You know why it's out of point is that INEC. You get it? Those agents are just they are just people to monitor it. They are not the.
Well, as Nigeria's election stands, so you cannot trust the institution, so you need to have your party agents. That's the headache. In other words, INEC needs to be reformed.
That is it. The INEC is it's not whether you. I may come out as a candidate and I may not have a single agent. That doesn't mean I cannot win. I will ask for my.
The number to call is 08036929933. 08036929933. The WhatsApp number is 08171756 338 0817 338. All right, 0817 338. That's the WhatsApp number, and the number to call is 08036929933. Hello, good evening. How are you?
Good evening.
Good evening, sir. How are you?
I'm fine.
Welcome.
Okay, my name is Emmanuel, calling from Ago.
All right, Emmanuel calling from Ago. Please go ahead.
Okay. I want to greet your guest in the studio.
Okay.
Mr. Lawal Ekundai.
All right.
Good evening, sir.
Yes. Though my text there is that Mr. Lawal was speaking the better side of this thing, as he was telling you. Because it's not good for we to speak a long grammar. We are buying fuel of 100 naira to 185. Now look at the increment in fuel of almost 1,000 something. We reduced the 800 and now we are buying 800. The same thing to 1,000. Where is the money? We know when Buhari was there for 185, then we know how much he took away from here. Now look at the suffering in the masses. So it's not something of a speaking grammar, as Mr. Lawan was telling you there. So we know what is happening. We are waiting for Obi. We are waiting for them to announce.
All right.
Whichever party announced will be there.
Thank you. Hello, good evening. How are you? Hello, Alexander. Good evening, sir. Same to you, sir.
Yeah, I'm going to see a wonderful guest.
Thank you.
Good evening, sir.
You said your obvious as well. Yeah, happy weekend.
Same to you.
The truth is, Pastor Tony has spoken the right thing. You understand? He said the obvious. And one thing, when you have someone who does not send you at all, you think he will be accountable to you? Remember during 2023 election time when they called Tinubu for what they call this debate, what happened? You know how you almost played you guys, that you guys want to use him to make money. And you think such person will be able to be accountable to you? Look at the situation in this country now. These guys, they will never give account of whatever they are doing. But the major problem now is how Nigeria can gather every faithful Nigerian wants this country to become great, to get this INEC out of their hands and out of this local government, because these are places where they manipulate these things. It has been happening. Nigeria need to strategize and think, because the more people come out and here, you are going to show them, they are there listening. You think they will fold their hands and be looking at you? They say once beaten, twice shy. You should not let that happen again. Yes, you are hearing my voice. I'm telling you. Stop coming on air and giving your strategy to these people, because they are there plotting and planning to rig their way back into power, and that should not be. We need to think and see how we can gather as faithful Nigerians who want a better country for you and I. Not those who come and are hypocrites and they see bad things and they continue to call it good. I give him applause, I clap for him. I think that is life. And you call yourself a Christian, you call yourself a Muslim. And on Friday and Sunday, you pick up your Bible, you pick up your Quran, and go and pray to God. And at the end of the year, still doing what is not right.
All right, thank you.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. Hello, good evening. How are you? What's your name?
Hello, good evening, Esther Wachuku.
Good evening, sir. How are you?
Fine, thank you. Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day to you, sir. How are you, sir?
Fine, thank you. And good evening to your guest there in the studio.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, my name is Peter Usifo. I'm calling from Abure.
Okay.
Concerning Arabambi's interview, I had the interview. I see him as somebody dancing in a marketplace without any music. And that to me means dance of insanity. Because he was even blaming or probably confessing the confession I wouldn't have made to confess. I don't know where he stands. Was he just blaming the Labour Party for not accounting for about 57,000 polling booths, or he was praising the government? So that's the reason why I said it's neither here nor there. So it was just a dance of insanity. Then for those people saying that Peter Obi should leave Labour Party, I think they are wrong. Peter Obi would have asserted his integrity and authority immediately after the Supreme Court judgment. He would have expelled Arabambi and Apapa at that time, and he would have galvanized the other members, especially when Julius Abure was still the Labour Party chairman, and when he was still with that Julius Abure. He would have brought the centrifugal forces together. But he refused. He was just, playing with Julius Abure and the other side of the people. And not only that, when Otti, left Julius Abure, he also left Julius Abure and left Julius Abure in the cold. So by now, I think he cannot play any role as far as Labour Party is concerned. And not only that, INEC has, in fact, if you look at the website, INEC at the moment has recognized Julius Abure.
No, INEC hasn't. Mr. Peter Osifo, INEC hasn't. They actually dispelled that story. They said it's not true. So please, I think I talked about it last week.
But the Supreme Court said that the party, the matter of party.
No, what I'm trying to tell you is that INEC said nothing like that. They dispelled that information. Yes. Okay, but there's still, confusion in Labour Party. Yes.
Yeah, Labour. Abure. Sorry, Peter Obi cannot leave Labour Party. If he leaves Labour Party, people will not take him serious.
Are you sure?
Because they will say,
a lot of his supporters actually want him to leave.
It's only the obedient people that will take him serious and say, wherever you go, we go. It's a lie. Nigerians, other Nigerians selling the north and even in the southwest cannot take him serious.
Okay. All right, Peter Osifo. Thank you very much. Hello, Mark Modas. Good evening. How are you?
Thank you so much for Mr. Okundayo. He has spoken my mind this evening.
Good evening, sir.
One of the things I want to say is that, good evening, well done. I really appreciate your analysis. You are the number one citizen of the.
Hello, sir.
This thing about Abure. Now, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, about
your WhatsApp.
The Nigerian. Hello.
Okay. Your connection notes.
Okay, can you hear me? I'm okay.
Yeah.
I'm hearing you well now. See, I said talking about Abure, saying that. Oh God, what's happening? Okay, can you hear me now?
Go ahead, though. You've taken more than a minute.
Okay, now, sorry. Okay, about what he said, let me just leave about Abure. What I was saying about is that this idea that he said everybody should come out, whether Pampaso, whether Atiku, whether Oshowore, they should come out for Nigerians to choose. They should come and tell us what they want. That is one of the best big topic I really appreciate what he said this night. I'm serious. That comment is alone is giving me joy. If Nigerians not about I want to be a governor, I want to be a president, I want to be this. Let the person come out. Let them come out. Let Nigerians choose. Tell us what you can do. Let's ask you questions. Let's check your integrity and your previous this thing that you did. And about let me talk like Abure. Now they say court is working. The court have already told Abure is not a Labour Party chairman, and he's forcing himself there because he has money changing, and they will say if you have evidence, if you don't have evidence, they say it's a propaganda. No wahala. Make her listen because I'm very, very upset about Abure. I don't want to talk much more about that. Good.
All right, thank you very much. Hello. Oh wow, 08036929933. We'll take a few calls and then read the messages. Hello, good evening. How are you?
Oh, good evening, Mr.
Good evening, sir. What's your name? Please speak up.
I'm Obi, calling from Ikotu.
All right, Obi, now please go ahead.
My greetings to Mr. Lawa. Good day.
Good evening, sir.
Let me be first on this.
Obi, now can you speak louder? Please.
Hello, are you hearing me? Okay. I'm hearing you perfectly.
Okay.
Hello?
Go on.
Hello, are you hearing me now?
Go ahead, Ubina.
Okay. Let me be quick on this. For people saying about Obi, so he should leave the party. To me, that's how you go to know a leader.
Obi, now speak up, please. You're not speaking to your girlfriend, though.
Hello,
speak up.
Hello.
You are talking like speak up. You're on the radio. Let's hear what you're saying.
Hello. Are you hearing me now?
Obi, nah. I can hear you. Go ahead with what you're saying. Just don't reduce your voice. Let's Obi, na network. Now they do like this, so. All right, I'll take one more call so I can just read a few messages. We'll soon be wrapping up. Hello, good evening. How are you?
Hello, fine.
Good evening, sir. What's your name?
Yeah, good evening. My name is Tekom. I'm calling from Idimu.
Idimu. All right, sir. Please go ahead.
Yeah. I would just want to say that anywhere Obi go, we are going there with you. No matter anywhere you go, we'll go with you. So that is what I want to tell you. Please.
All right, thank you very much. Okay, so let me read some messages on YouTube. This person, Dennis Sinchukuka, says, Hope Uzodinma and the federal government knows what is happening in Imo State and across the country, that gas is their target, but they won't succeed. King Cross Giovanni, Madam, you didn't enjoy. How? King Cross, those former markets for me, I'm not enjoying. I beg. King Cross says, Oga, go and see them. You are betrayer APC member. That is what you are. Who are you referring to, King Cross? AGMX says, that man is an APC agent and has no integrity. Which one of the men do you think he's referring to? Okay. Jeff Obi, I hope Wike is not invited. All right. Okolo Emalex, Arabambi. Okay, I think they're referring to Arabambi. Okay. Arabambi is an APC man, mature mole. Whoever takes him seriously must be an accomplice. Jeff Obi, I hope Wike is not invited by the PDP. The meeting they're having today, that they're not supposed to have Wike in it. Little mistakes. If they could offer Nans 100 million naira to say good things about the prison, do you think they can't offer 50 or more million naira to the people of Labour Party to castigate the party? And Peter Obi? Okay, Adekule Temitope, Obi and Kwankwaso would make the best option and not El-Rufai. Reality TV says, wow, let's cut it off. I'm okay with anyone, but Kwankwaso is not interested in the coalition. Sapphire 483, election is not won in Nigeria by fair and fair. It wasn't started by Emiloko alone. It is Electoral 40 Foundation. The country needs to fix it by consensus. Slavery is seeing the truth but deciding to keep mute because you benefit from lies. If they offer some people money versus freedom, they would choose money and keep suffering. Nigerians, weak me. Samuel Fagbon, are people aware of El-Rufai's role pertaining to insecurity in Nigeria? Why must the northern region be included in the presidential ticket to the exclusion of other regions? Emmanuel says, Obi for a better Nigeria. Okay, let me read some messages. Esther, before 2027 elections, okay, Nigerians must seek for electoral reforms. First, remove Yakubu and his gangs. Also, the executive must not select INEC chairman, but Nigerians must choose themselves, like Mike Igini, who will never compromise. Seek independent candidacy. Okay. Obi should merge with Atiku and El-Rufai, if possible. Kwankwaso as fair election without vote buying and Abure intimidation. All right, Dio from Fagba in Lagos. Thank you so much. Esther, I greet you and your guest satisfactorily. Peter Obi cannot afford to be a running mate by any other candidate. All right, Peter Obi cannot afford to be a running mate to any other candidate except to Atiku. Are you telling me that with all the votes he garnered in 2023, which no other third position have ever garnered since 1999, he should not be a running mate to any of them? Anyone who wants to work with Obi should be happy to be his running mate. And for the Obedient Movement registering as a political party, I don't support Mr. Ekundai. The Obedient Movement is not strong and popular enough to succeed as a political party. In fact, we don't have the national spread or financial war chest to build offices everywhere. I am an Obedient member, but the Obedient Movement, if it becomes a political party, would be centered on Obi as a person, which is not good for the party. Okay, talking about the gale of defections, especially to the ruling party, I want to ask Mr. Ekundai, what do you make of the president's visit to Anambra? I'm asking this because the connection was so strong. Do you think that Mr. President will give some form of support to the re-election of Governor Soludo? Because I watched the whole event till the end. We saw the stylish support for the re-election of the President Tinubu by Governor Soludo. And secondly, 2 House of Rep members in Enugu defected from the Labour Party to the PDP and not the APC. They cited divisions in the party and the developmental projects of Governor Umba as reasons for their defection. Does this not put an end to the speculation that Governor Umba is also planning to defect to the APC? James Obunna from Oshodi. All right, thank you very much, James. If what Arabambi said is true, it will be very worrisome, even more damning if none of the characters mentioned counter these claims. I do not like El-Rufai based on his antecedents, but be it a religious fanaticism and extremism, if Peter Obi links up with him, then it goes to show that Peter Obi is no different from other politicians and he has no single integrity, and insecurity would continue with such sinister alliances. For me, Obi staying in the Labour Party at this point is like sitting on the edge of a dead, drowning boat in the middle of the Bermuda Triangle. Should he stay there and drown with the party, or jump out to another boat and face shacks of criticism? Because Obi is thinking of what people would say if he leaves the party. If he decides to float his own party, he definitely would want to be the presidential candidate. And with Atiku in the race again, the vote will be sliced again, and that unpopular party might have their way again, which would be unfortunate for Nigerians. In summary, time is going. Obi needs to strategize, as an alliance is very necessary, as would be a joker if he thinks he can do it on his own. An alliance that doesn't involve El-Rufai and other political vultures. Hello, good evening. How are you?
Yes,
hello?
Yeah, hello.
Hi, good evening. How are you?
I'm good. Is that Esther?
Yes, it is Esther. What's your name, sir?
Fidelis. I'm calling from the US. Are you live?
Yes, I am live, Fidelis. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, I just wanted to contribute.
Okay, please go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to say that, you know, when you bring the audios of Arabambi on this nice studio, you're just demarketing this studio for us, because I wouldn't deal with somebody who moves with the wind. Okay. If you have followed Arabambi, you would discover that at first he said he was with Papa. After he said he was with Abure. After he said I'm now with Peter Obi. After he said Peter Obi now is the evil. So the Arabambi is 150% APC. Anybody who knows how people behave will just tell you. So it's not something that we should be talking about here.
All right, thank you very, very much. Mr. Ekundayo, final take, please. We need to wrap up.
Well,
in a few seconds, please.
Okay. That Nigerian politicians should just shelve their individual interests and go for the collective, what will move Nigeria forward.
All right.
Nigeria should be the priority.
Thank you very much, Mr. Lawal Ekundayo, for coming on the program. Once again, happy Mother's Day to our beautiful mothers. My name is Esther Wajiku. Thank you for calling. Thank you for your messages. Good evening. Bye for now. See you on Monday.